the war in Ukraine has taken a dramatic turn. North Korean soldiers are now on Ukrainian soil, fighting alongside Russian forces. This unprecedented development has sent shockwaves across the international community, raising fears of a wider conflict. The situation is complex and volatile, with far-reaching implications for global security. How did we get here? And what does it mean for the future of this war? The involvement of North Korean soldiers adds a new layer of uncertainty to an already devastating conflict. Their presence so far from home highlights the global nature of this war and the intricate web of alliances that underpin it. As the conflict escalates, the world watches with bated breath, wondering what the ultimate cost of this conflict will be. The world is now grappling with the implications of North Korean soldiers' direct involvement in the conflict. The situation is fluid, and the coming days will be crucial in determining the trajectory of this war. One thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. Vladimir Putin's decision to enlist North Korean troops is a clear indication of Russia's struggle in Ukraine. Despite initial predictions of a swift victory, the Russian military has faced fierce resistance from Ukrainian forces. This unexpected resistance, bolstered by Western military aid, has exposed vulnerabilities in Russia's military capacity. The conflict has dragged on, with no clear end in sight. Faced with mounting losses and a stalemate on the battlefield, Putin has turned to North Korea for support. This alliance, though seemingly unlikely, is rooted in shared interests. Both countries share a deep distrust of the West and see the conflict in Ukraine as part of a larger geopolitical struggle against NATO expansion and Western influence. For North Korea, the alliance offers an opportunity to gain valuable military experience, strengthen ties with Russia, and potentially alleviate the pressure of international sanctions. For Putin, it provides much-needed manpower and a symbolic victory in the face of Western condemnation. The international community has reacted with a mixture of condemnation and concern to the news of North Korean troop deployments to Ukraine. Western governments have been quick to denounce the move, calling it a dangerous escalation of the conflict. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency meeting, with member states expressing grave concerns over the potential for further instability in the region. The presence of North Korean troops in Ukraine has been widely condemned as a violation of international law and a threat to global security. Many countries have called for the immediate withdrawal of these troops, urging Russia and North Korea to seek a diplomatic solution to the conflict. This development has also sparked fears of a wider conflict, potentially drawing in other regional powers. The situation is particularly worrisome for countries bordering Ukraine, who now face the prospect of a protracted conflict on their doorstep. The international community is now faced with the daunting task of containing this crisis and preventing a further escalation of hostilities. The deployment of North Korean troops to Ukraine has placed South Korea in a particularly precarious position. Seoul has long sought to maintain a delicate balance between its alliance with the United States and its proximity to both Russia and China. The presence of North Korean troops fighting alongside Russian forces adds a new dimension to this already complex geopolitical equation. South Korea's immediate concern is the safety and security of its own citizens. The possibility of a wider conflict, potentially spilling over into the Korean peninsula, is a grave concern for Seoul. The government has issued travel warnings for its citizens in Ukraine and neighboring countries, urging them to leave the region immediately. Seoul is also grappling with the potential ramifications for its relationship with Russia. While South Korea has condemned the invasion of Ukraine, it has also been cautious in its response, avoiding direct confrontation with Moscow. This measured approach reflects Seoul's desire to maintain open lines of communication with Russia, a key player in regional security. South Korea is considering sending troops to Ukraine. This marks a significant escalation and shift in its foreign policy. The decision is driven by a commitment to defending democracy and regional security. This potential deployment is not without its risks. It could strain relations with Russia and China. South Korean forces could face direct combat, something avoided since the Korean War. Section 6. Yoon's Resolve. A leader determined to defend democracy. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has emerged as a vocal critic of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He has repeatedly condemned the invasion, calling it a violation of international law and a threat to the international order. Yoon has also expressed unwavering support for the Ukrainian people and their right to self-determination. Yoon's stance on Ukraine is rooted in his belief in the importance of democracy and the rule of law. He sees the conflict in Ukraine as a battle between democracy and authoritarianism, and he has made it clear that South Korea stands firmly on the side of democracy. Under Yoon's leadership, South Korea has provided Ukraine with humanitarian aid and non-lethal military equipment. He has also signaled his willingness to consider further support, including the possibility of sending troops. Yoon's resolute stance has earned him praise from Western leaders and cemented South Korea's position as a key player in the global effort to support Ukraine. Section 7. Strengthening the arsenal, military and intelligence aid to Ukraine. Beyond the potential deployment of troops, South Korea is exploring other ways to bolster Ukraine's defenses. This includes providing Ukraine with advanced weaponry, intelligence sharing, and cybersecurity assistance. South Korea's military industry is known for its high-tech equipment, particularly in areas like artillery and missile defense systems. These systems could prove crucial in helping Ukraine repel Russian attacks and defend its airspace. Intelligence sharing is another area where South Korea could play a vital role. South Korea has sophisticated intelligence gathering capabilities, particularly when it comes to North Korea and its military activities. This intelligence could be invaluable to Ukraine in understanding Russian and North Korean troop movements, anticipating attacks, and developing counter-strategies. South Korea's expertise in cybersecurity is another asset. Ukraine has been subjected to relentless cyber attacks since the beginning of the conflict, many of them originating from Russia. South Korea, with its advanced cyber defenses, could provide valuable assistance in shoring up Ukraine's cyber infrastructure and countering these attacks. Section 8. The shadow of escalation. A global conflict looms. The involvement of North Korean troops in Ukraine raises the spectre of a wider conflict. The situation is volatile given the involvement of nuclear-armed states like Russia and the United States. Miscalculations could have catastrophic results. The risk is heightened by the complex web of alliances and rivalries. China, a close ally of Russia and North Korea, is watching closely. Beijing has called for peace but supports Russia diplomatically and economically. The United States, as a NATO member, is deeply involved, providing military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine. The uncertain future of global stability. The events in Ukraine have profound implications for global stability. Tensions between the West and Russia are at their highest in decades. A wider conflict would be devastating. It could undermine the rules-based international order. Diplomacy and dialogue are essential to de-escalate tensions. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos like this one.